All right, guys, so this is video 2. Let's talk about warming up and the differences on the days that you're going to be during the programming of what you're going to be warming up and how everything's going to look. So within the programming, you have the breakdown of the different days. Everyone should understand that by now. On your gym days, let's talk about your warm-ups there and what you should do, and then we'll talk a little bit about your running days and how it's going to be a little bit different. So on your gym days, so say you have legs, so Monday's leg day. So what I always do, and I highly recommend this for you guys, I have a kind of a set routine of how I warm up. So I come into the gym, first thing I do, I go over to a matted area and I start my warm-ups. I always do dynamic warm-ups. So if you look at the links that I put into the actual programming, you'll see the link differences of the differences between dynamic and static. I don't want to beat it up too much because you're going to get beat up by these guys that are going to put on the links too. You're going to hear it over and over and over again. But get it into your head that you need to be doing dynamic before your workouts and you need to do static after your workouts. The reason for that is the dynamic's actually going to warm you up and it's going to keep your muscles from stretching too much and then causing injury, and then you actually lose performance if you do a static stretch. But it's great to do that afterwards. Your muscles are already warm and then it stretches them out, and then it helps for your recovery, and it also helps to prevent injuries very much so. So for the dynamic workouts, or for the dynamic warm-ups, you'll go in on the gym days. Let's talk about the gym days first. You'll go into the gym day, you'll pick at least 4 of these movements and then rotate through them. Keep moving through it. You shouldn't be sitting in a stretch for very long. Your idea is not to stretch a muscle. The point is to warm it up and then to get it going, but also to get it ready to perform. So with that being said, it makes sense to warm up the muscle group that you're actually going to be using. On leg days, don't really concentrate on doing a lot of shoulder warm-ups. You can do that afterwards if you want to, but just to kind of stay healthy. But for the actual dynamic part of it all, you want to make sure that you're hitting what you're working on. If you're doing legs, make sure you're warming up your legs. If you're doing push, make sure you're really warming up your shoulders, getting your chest involved, maybe a little bit of core. You'll see the different types of dynamic stretches. Pick a few of those, make sure you're nice and warm, and do it. You're going to look a little goofy. A lot of people don't like doing these stretches, but over time, I've noticed that it's improved my fitness substantially, and it really minimizes the risk of injury by doing these warm-ups. So do those on your gym days. On your running days, the metabolic conditioning, do a little bit more. So you're going to look for a full body warm up for these metcons. You don't want to just warm up just your legs whenever you're going to be doing kettlebells, or maybe we're doing some deadlifts that day, or whatever the programming has. Make sure you're doing a full body warm up before these metcons, and then as the metcon's over, you're already going to be warm. You're going to be ready to run. But in between the two, it's not bad to kind of stay loose for those 10 minutes. The 10-minute break between the metabolic conditioning and then the running, just to make sure that you're still ready to go. If you're prone to injury, don't do these metcons and then just sit down for 10 minutes, really prone to injury, or just anybody. Don't just sit down for 10 minutes and then step up and then run into a Tabata workout where you're just doing 15-second sprints, and then, because you're just asking for problems. For my guys, you already know that I asked for a problem when we were in Indiana, and I took off at a dead sprint, and I ended up tearing a tendon in my foot. It's just stuff like that. You have to stay warm, and you need to make sure your body's ready to perform, especially for those seasoned warriors out there. Y'all know who you are, so make sure that y'all are getting nice and warm. At the end of your running programming, or your running day, make sure you're doing a lot of static stretching. Especially if it's that programming where you're just running, and one of the days is not going to be any metcons, it's just going to be for running. That day is designed for almost an active recovery. You're going to have a longer run, or even a timed run for a test, but then make sure you're getting good long stretches in there, holding these stretches for a long period of time. Now this is only after your workout, so this is the static part of it. Do not do this before your workout, any of these workouts. But after your workout, even on your gym days, it's a good idea after you get done with your cardio to just get these, if you have the time, stretch these muscles out and get them ready to perform the next day. But especially on the specifically just running day, it is mandatory. It's mandatory to do all these anyway with this programming, but very much so. That's what I'm designing it so that on the days that you just have running, you don't have metcons, this another 30 minutes at least of just stretching these muscles out and getting ready for the following week. So most of the time will kind of be at the end of the week. It just depends on how the program is going to be, but it just helps your body out and stretches it out. If you have to take that one day of rest that I've authorized you guys to have every so often, I want to get specific because people like to find loopholes. But if you have to take a rest day for whatever reason, carve out 15, 20 minutes of your day and then use it as an active recovery day by just doing some of these stretches. A lot of people like to do these stretches before they go to sleep. Just find what works for you and then implement that into your workout. All right, send any questions or concerns my way.